Welcome back to Alchemy Factory. My name is Nilaus, and we are continuing on this through the Christmas season. And just a service announcement. You might have noticed that as of the recording of this video, Alchemy Factory is no longer listed on Steam. There was some kind of DMCA issue about music, and they've responded to it, but they didn't respond fast enough, and they're working on getting it back on Steam. So in the meantime, you can enjoy my content and wait for it to come back online, and then you can implement these awesome designs in your own base. Now, what are we going to do this episode? Well, we are going to be wrapping up this tech level before moving on to the next one. I think it's generally very important that you get everything done in a tech level before moving on to the next. You don't have to, but I don't like the people coming into my shop and looking for things that they can't get. And they are looking for things that here. So they're not looking for these potions yet, but the daily quest you can see over on the right-hand side. It says turquoise and turquoise, which is the first thing we're going to do. So let's have a look at the recipe for turquoise. That is somewhere. Oh, it's a goods, of course. There we go. Healing potions and sand. Very simple. So let's knock that one out. And if we look at our healing potions, then this is designed for when we didn't use the good advanced fertilizer. So this was 20 per second. So all of this is completely junk. It can be made much nicer, and we're going to be making healing potions for turquoise, for healing potions themselves, and for bandages. Yes. So we're going to be coming up with a new cool little design that will be replacing it. So it's basically going to be like one of each, because one of each will be enough. Then let's pretend that we're working on something below, because it's going to come down here, and then we're basically going to say it's now going to need 3 of these and 3 of these. And it goes in, splits out, goes out on the other side. Here. And it does the same thing for the other one. And it comes out. And this one comes out. Then we need to put some lab stands here. Then we can take these two and put them on top. We can then get them underneath, like so. And basically, we are going to get inbound here, lab stand, up to this location. And this will be our fertilizer coming in. These will produce at 60 per minute. Go down, get crushed, come in. And what we have now is 60 of each. Going in here, boom. That is exactly what we need. And this is a beautiful little design that we can use for healing potions. And that means we can take all of this other stuff out. I'm also just having a single one of these for bandages. Basically taking 12 in. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take one dedicated to back to the shop, one dedicated to here, and one dedicated to the other one. So we're going to actually move it over here. And yeah, I think I'll just build it like this. So we can take you, and I'm going to cut you and put you back 1, 2 away from that. That's going to be for, I don't know, maybe healing potions. This is going to be for the bandages, and this one will be for the next one we want. And that means we can take out all of this thing here. That's also always a little annoying to take this out. Let's take it up to here. Go away. And that's going to be, no, we could actually pick it up. Nice. Okay. And then it means stuff like this will just go into this location, go in here, and it'll have sort of a receiver for that. The last thing we want to do is also the turquoise, which will be super easy to make. This will then be turquoise. I'm building it a little quick, but I'm just kind of there's some really nice flow to this. So it just flows really nice. It's only 5 per minute, but you know, that's probably fine for what we need. And the only thing that meets is crushed sand. So we need some crushed sand. That can go into 1, 2, 2. Oh no, we don't have gears. Interesting. Big wooden gears. Where are you? You are here. That's an odd thing to miss. 2 and 3. Using wooden gears to crush stone. Well, that's magic. And each of these are producing 20, so I need to crush all these. And as far as I remember, the crushing is really awful. So we can't. It's going to be 4 crushers for each. So let's just do something like, what is this? This is 6. feels about right. And then crushing on top. And this will just go back. Too close. There, I think. Yes. And that can then go. Yeah. And this, and this. There you go, perfect. And the outbound. That's there. So half of it on that side. Then I need to build them. Is this correct? Yeah. These will do the top two. You are going to go into here, and you can go into. Oh, that's weird. That's not how it's supposed to be. Oh no. Oh no. Well, let's hope that disappears by itself. I wonder if we can. Okay, let's assume that disappears by itself, and never seen that, but they have had issues lately, and they've been a little bit stressed out about all the things they needed to fix. So there might be a little bit more bugs in here that than we would like to have, but hey, it's still it hasn't crashed a single time for me, so that's really nice. And there, so they go in here, they go collect. That's gonna be 100 and that's gonna be 60, and then we have these three. Cool. All we need to do now is send it back to the shop. Oh, look at that! I put lights in the shop. They give an incredible amount of light. I think we're ready to hook it up. It just needed a save and reload to get rid of that weird artifact. So what we need to do is I need to feed all of my beautiful, glorious fertilizer in here, because I have way too much in my inventory, and I need to get it in here. There we go. So that should work. Yes, it's working. Then we are getting some. That one. And here. This will be stone. Not too expensive. There and there. And I don't think I have stone. So I had to do a lot of reconstruction or restructuring of the inputs and outputs. But and now these are sort of turned this way, and I really like this. And that should work. And we would now get the turquoise if everything is working. And I also want to go here. We'll have to do that one. And I still have like way too much in my inventory. And let's just go here. That one can go in, and I guess we're not going to get the turquoise anytime soon. Here. But is it working? Yes. No. Oh, look at that. Everything is one off. Beautiful. And there we go. Now it's working again. Everything is glorious. These coming in here. Short jump. And then a large jump in here. Right. So let's do the next thing. Before we go into the final thing, there's something I don't need it right now, but it's just one of those things that I really want to get out of the way. So we're going to be making right in this corner, because this is kind of a dead corner. We are going to make a build that makes coke powder. I don't really need it right now, but I do need it at some point. And it just means that whenever I have a build, something like this one, I don't have to go this path here just to get some fuel. I can just, and you can see this path needs fuel, this path needs fuel. Does this need fuel as well? Yes, this one's also needs fuel. So I have way too many builds that just need a little bit of fuel, and then I have to build like a big converter for it. So we're just gonna make one converter and have it for coke, and then we'll use that. It's gonna start with a inbound, and it has to be placed 2 from the edge, 1, 2. Then I need to go upwards. It's gonna need to go into a furnace, but I want to build something below the furnace. So 1, 2. It's gonna be here. 1, 2, 3. So on the furnace, I'll be making the crucibles, because that's kind of what has to be done. There's going to be 2 of these, and they'll be here and here. So this goes up and into this, and this will be consolidated out here. This will then go down, and then I will need to make, unfortunately, the answer is 4 of these, like that. And yeah, like this. And why does it do that? So, oh, right, I moved, it's the wrong way. Yeah, that way. Yes. I think I can do... Oh. Here, move. Tap. Get it into here. So the point is, I get this, I get this, I get you on top here. So now I can build it. The first thing that happens is that it comes from and here. Then it goes into these 2, goes out. I think I might want to get it out just like this. So it goes in, goes down, gets into these 4 locations. And then from here it goes up so that it can be used for fuel. There, and that'll just be going out on the belt. That's looking good. And these 2, and these 2, and inbound. There, so it goes in, into these 2, down, into 4 filters down below, and then go up and gets used for this. And if this is built correctly, then we could make another one here, T. So I want a distance of 2 from the side. Overlapping, not overlapping, not overlapping, not overlapping. Here, yes. That one and that one. And that means if I've done things correctly, here, these will go all the way through, make sure that they feed in here, and they will then go... Interesting, I actually need them to go into a box. Because I do want a buffer for this, which will be like that. And then I need to go the back out from the box here, and that is on a right, and that will go out in both directions, feeding this hopefully. All right, let's give it a shot and bring. Oh, it's not stone that I get in here. It is actually. I don't know if I have enough of these. I have exactly 3. Perfect. Coal. Coal and coal. That is stupidly expensive. And we're going to need a little bit of fuel just to get the whole thing going. We're just using this for fuel. And good. All right, let's have a look and see if it works. So this would just make sure that we now have a full belt of coke powder. Because each of these are producing 40. And... no, they're producing 20. So that gets us a full belt of 60 outbound. But of course, a little bit will be used for the fuel, but that's not much. So maybe it'll be like 29 instead of, or it'll be, instead of 60 women, it'll be like 58. Anyway, this goes, the coke, coal becomes coke. Coke out here becomes coke powder, please. I think a lot of them have gone down here and not really gone anywhere. Yes, you can see this is really slow, coke powder. And coke powder has amazing. It's the really good fuel value. So let's knock you in here. You will also be going up and then go past all of these There. And it'll self-feed. Perfect. It works. Right. So there's only one thing left, and that is our the thing that will complete the build today, and that will be a little bit more complicated build. I wonder if I can build it here. Maybe. I'll try it. And here we go. Now let's start with the next design. Let's start from the end and work our way backwards. So we're going to be setting this one up. We're going to be working on the transformation potion. This is 10 transformation potions per minute. We'll just go with that. We got some coke powder. I'm actually going to make the coke powder locally because otherwise it's not really going to be here. But I might take the coke powder from our belt to use for furnaces so that I can guarantee that it's 100% coke powder coming in here. Then we need gloom spores. Oh, gloom spores. Gloom spores actually come from... okay, let's figure out the gloom spores here. Yeah, coke powder comes in. And that goes backwards to gloom spores, which takes the gloom fungus and yeast powder. So yeast powder is something here. That comes in a blender. Yeah, I thought so. So that comes in a blender. And there, that is red currant from fruit wine and soap powder. So we need more soap. It's tempting to use this one because some idiot decided to build this entire box full of this. Yeah, that's a lot. But this is only making 20 soap powder, and this is needing 30 soap powder. So we actually need quite a lot more, but this is also an older build, so it has wrong ratios now for what we do now. If we look at soap powder, how do we make that? It's in a grinder, so let's just look at it from the perspective of how do we make soap. I don't want to recycle this build. This build is just for shop. I don't want to recycle it. This is the linseed and the plant ash. So pretty simple. This is 1 sage, and this one should be 1 flax. So we now need 1 flax, 1 seed, 1 sage, 1 flax, and 1 red currant. That gives us the yeast powder. That's actually pretty simple. So let's get us those down here. That will be the red wine, the yeast in there. So first we'll have 1 red, then we'll have 1 flax, and then we'll have here 1 sage. Yes. Okay. This will just need to, once we get, I'm going to just show this. This is 60. This is 60, and this is 60. But the time here, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, and 5 seconds. So that's the difference. But they will all be matching now to the belt speed. So that's the outbound. So we get 60 of this. Then let's look at an extractor. This is an extractor. And we need to figure out this needs to be extracted and this needs to be extracted. So we can... Did I turn it the wrong way? No? There. Here. Let's figure out how fast this goes. This goes 10. So we need 6. This goes 30. So we need 2. There we go. That's the 2 liquids. And the last thing we need is for the sage to actually be turned into a furnace. That's going to be here. And I think I need to move it a little bit away so we can also get the fuel in here. So sage comes in up, and I believe the sage is 1, 2, 3. We're going to figure out where we get the fuel inbound here. I'll do that. It could be like on a line be here, but we'll see. I don't think so. And that, and here, inbound, inbound, inbound. So the sage goes in, gets burned, and gets consolidated. That needs the sage and the plant ash goes here. I think we could sort of just take this. Like so. Consolidate it in. Coming out. There. The linseed would be much better built on the other side, because then it can much easier go in to this location. Right. This soap, we don't care. It's producing... Oh, it's producing... Hold on. It's only producing 20 soap. Yeah, well, I guess. Damn, the soap powder. That must be just in a normal grinder, right? How fast is the grinder? I guess we can find out what the grinder does here. That's 10 to 10, so we need 2 of these. 2 of the grinders coming out. Then that means I need you for the yeast powder. I'm gonna get that. Maybe, hey, like this. This is perfect. There, it comes back, and these can be consolidated and go in here for the yeast powder. There we go. So that gets some yeast, which I need to make sure that is stored somewhere. So there, so it's stored, but I also need to move it on to the next. That would be here. This gloom thing will then have to come in on a there. And I guess this also needs to be stored somewhere. And then it can go in to the final form here. But this also requires some coke powder. Now I can see that the coke powder will not be able to keep up because the gloom spores is 15 yeast. 15 yeast powder, you're making 15. Ah man, it does suck because we're not having enough soap, which means that I am not going to be using all the coke powder, which means I can actually just have this as a dedicated coke powder here built as well. That one. Gonna go up. Get these 2. Oh, need stone. Probably also need some wood at some point. Yep, going back. All right, this is almost there. Then you're gonna go in here, and then that's gonna go into a build. Yeah. See, this is perfect, except I also needed it back here for some input. Yeah, let's see. How do I get that? Because it's honestly the easiest part to do it would be doing it like this, just going back like that, getting in here, and I think we just do this. The most important thing here is not how many entities we're using, but more along the lines of how much. This one can also probably be taken out. But just that it doesn't take a bigger blueprint or footprint. There. How the hell does that not... Is that not possible to get dragon? There we go. So you're going to go in here, and then you're also going to... Let's clean this up. Make it look more intentional. Here and here. Now that looks more intentional. Great. I could make it even more intentional, couldn't I? by getting this. Yes, indeed. There we go. Even more intentional. Perfect. That one. Right, so this just needs to go out. Okay. That was pretty simple, I think. Let's get the piping. Piping is always a little bit problematic to do this. Let's say I'm just going to get the piping from here. Go over here, press T to go down, and that connects. It's good. Over on this side. T. That's easy. Okay, I think we're good, except for this one. So that also means, is this really the right place to build it, or should I try to make it over here where I actually have the ingredients? It's probably better to build it right there, because then I can jump it in from here. Let's put it in here and get ready to test it. It is now set up here, and I think this is a better place. Let's try hooking it up to see how it goes. Do we have a little bit of fertilizer in our inventory? Let's just jam it in. And let's get the fertilizer in here, in here, in here, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing one of these. Yes, I am. Of course I am. Let's buy a handful of this. At this point, we don't really worry too much about money, so things like this, considering it expensive, is not really a thing anymore. We are making good money thanks to our Jupiters. They are really nice, and they are helping us quite a bit. That one, and get the stone inbound. That's really not what I want. Oops. Oh, that's really not what I want. There we go. It's definitely not stone. It is coal. So we try again. Now we have some glorious stone in our inventory that we don't know what to do with, but that is the price we pay, I guess. There we go. Let's put it in here. One of these. And I need to make sure that we have some kind of fuel. This is all we got. And fuel in here. I don't want to keep these. And I have set this one up to receive, and it is pretty close to this one. So probably we could do something like this, and then make a little catapult. Or we can make a big fat thing here. Let's do that instead. Yeah, always more fun to put a cannon if we can. It's too close, but it's somehow it works. Nice. Going in. Just fill it up with shrooms. And let's see, what is not working? This one is waiting. This one is also waiting. It's waiting for the fuel to flow through so that this becomes fueled. Let's get a little bit in here just to get it going. So we can see the sage is actually going to turn into plant ash. And that should go, plant ash goes into the soap powder. Unfortunately, our main issue is the lack of, plant ash, and therefore soap is not enough to get this. So it's only going to run at 10 per minute, and that means this is only going to run at 10. And that means the other one is only going to run, instead of 10 per minute, it's going to be 6.7 per minute. If I wanted to get this at ratio, I would have to have 2 builds for sage, and I just don't like that. Let's just make a few of these and then be happy about it. Get this going. Okay, so we get the first yeast fiber. Of course, it's also going to take forever to fill up this, but yeast is also something that will be requested sometimes in the... Is it working? Shouldn't it go in here? I feel it should be. There's one in here. Okay, now the next one. Yeast is something that's requested sometimes in the daily quests. So let's also keep that in mind. And here we get 1 gloom fungus. We still don't have any coke powder out. That's kind of concerning. Why not? Did it stall? Guess it did. Okay, something is not working. Oh. Yeah, we're missing something. This is coke, but I need coke powder. Oops. Let's fix that. So I've now reconfigured it again, and this is what we're looking at now. And I've also been noticing something as well, which I thought I did calculate it correctly, and then I thought it was incorrect. So here it is 60 plant ash, which is the maximum I can get. That gets us 20 soap. 20 soap becomes 20 soap powder. This means that this is not enough. This is going to run at 2/3. That means it's going to get 20 in and 10 out instead of 15. So yeast is 15 in. It's 10 in instead of 15. So it's only 10 inbound. And this means it's only 20 gloom fungus. And then it's 10 fungus outbound. Here it's 10 gloom spores to 10. So it's actually the soap is matching here. And these are just the two intermediate machines will only be running at 67%, but the ultimately everything here, the raw materials is used fully up here, and that means we're also going to be consuming all the 20 coal powder. That means I want this one to work exclusively here and not use it for feeding the furnaces. So what I've done instead is that I brought in my coke powder belt, which takes forever. I think it's all right, it takes forever, but it will get here eventually. And that gets us out. And then let's complete this by going here. That by going here. And in here. By going from here over to top shelf. Good. All right. So now let's see if we get any of them inbound. Would be nice. Hey, we're getting it inbound. Yay, transformation potions. Perfect. Vitality potion is not doing great. They're just in demand, but they're coming in. So now all we can do is we can actually just sit and wait. I do not want to start selling them yet, so I will actually clear this one, and then I will be setting this one up for something else, because I want these to go into our main quest. So let's wait for the main quest to complete, and then once that's completed, we have access to the next level, and that will be where we wrap up this episode. And we're going to finish up with completing the main quest. 120 silver, we get that. Nice. There we go. And we got a level up. We can now do chamomile seeds. We can get pyrite, and we can get rock salt. Interesting, interesting, interesting. We also have some upgrade points. We have 4 upgrade points. There's something I really want. First of all, I actually really want the fertilizer, but I also really like to have the logistics and the machines going faster. But what I really need is that these are going up to double speed, and this is going up to double speed. However, when I go to double speed on the factory efficiency, it's not really efficient because it's going to use twice as much heat. That's a lot of extra heat. So maybe at this point I should just be like, well, fuel is probably an issue, but I also just feel that we're producing way too slow. So I could dig 2 here and 2 here. We did get the coke. Yeah, let's do that. That's going to make all of my ratios a little bit off. So keep in mind that now a full belt will be 90. Instead of, yeah, but it's very important. I feel that these two are matching up, and it should go in like steps of 2. Otherwise, it's impossible to figure out the ratio. So we're going to do that. That means now a belt is 90, and everything uses a little bit more fuel, but we also got the coke build. So we got the next growth potion here, which is a nutrient value. So it's actually a replacement, potential replacement for mid-game replacement for the advanced circuits. And we can then look in the tech tree and see all the new things. There are so many cool things. I think this one is the most important first thing to get, because an enhanced grinder, it's twice as fast. It takes 3 tiles instead of 1, but it's twice as fast. And sometimes that's just really handy to put below the furnaces. The refiner is also a really nice thing. We're going to take a look at that as well. Then we get the copper and bronze tech tree here, which is interesting. And then we have a blast furnace that I can't really use for anything. I haven't found a good use for it, just the bad size. And the salt, which goes into a Saturn, and then the salt is also used for many other things. But this one is also really interesting. It's going to be a massive, big project we're going to be building. The first really mega project, and it's going to be a real moneymaker when we finally get it done. So that'll be one of the upcoming episodes. Probably not the first one, but let's see how we go. I think we'll want to get something like the copper bearing first. You can also start messing with copper bars, copper ingots to turn them into copper coins and back again, but that's of course at a loss. And then of course we have another one, another relic Mars here, 280 silver, but it's also a little bit painful to build, but well, we'll get those. So we're going to be wrapping this one up. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, the blueprints are available to Patreon supporters, and hopefully the game will be available on Steam soon again. So we have our coke powder build, we have our consolidated healing potion, bandage, and turquoise, because they all need healing potions, and this is advanced circuits, advanced fertilizer, and of course the final one here, the transformation potion. Those are available to Patreon supporters. So thank you very much for supporting, thank you for following, and I'm also streaming it on Twitch once in a while, so do check that out on Twitch TV/Nilaus. Until next time, take care and stay effective.